podcast. Hello, hello, hello again. See that duplication? Welcome to the alphabet game. Janine McJannet here, along with my amazing co-host, Dr. Brenda, and we come here every other week to share joy through words and laughter. Oh, and today is the letter L. My name is Janine. Oh, go ahead.
It is the letter L. Hey there, I'm Dr.
So
Brenda.
excited.
I'm coming at you from, L, Lone Pine, California, foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. Incredibly gorgeous day here today. And tell us where you're coming from.
Okay, I'll tell you where I'm coming from, even though I know you weren't speaking to me. It's an incredibly gorgeous day here too, and I don't get the opportunity to say that much to you, Brenda. I really don't. It's sunny. It was 25 degrees yesterday. It's going to be about the same. I was lying in my hot tub this morning, looking up at the leaves and smiling because summer is here.
Summer's such a happy time.
It is.
I mean, the sun goes down. I'm up late. I've got more energy. Yeah. I'm smiling. I mean, I am so seasonally driven.
But it's amazing when you live most of the year in cold and darkness. Hello, Yukon are up here in the north. That the first day yesterday, and it was a clear day, meaning there weren't a lot of mosquitoes. It was too hot for the mozzies to be able to just sit there and languish in the sunshine and feel that laugh underneath. It was beautiful.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you are just shining today.
Woohoo! So as we get into L's are my favorite. It's my favorite letter in the alphabet.
Well, I have two serious questions, two serious L questions.
Serious?
That could take us 30 minutes to just
okay, well, we're going to
wrestle with.
Okay, let's see.
You want to try one? Okay, so can you truly love is my word for the day. Can you truly love someone if you don't love yourself?
That's easy, no.
Wow, listen to you. Go, girl. Go.
That brings up a lot. It brings up a lot.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, if we each take a look at all of the relationships in our lives, be it a partner, if we have one, our pets, our kids, our family, extended family, work, what do we put out there? What do we put out there? What are our expectations? What are our expectations? And when you say that, loving others before yourself, I mean, just sit with that. How can you love others if you don't love yourself? You can pretend, you can put up all the masks that you want to, right? And you can play along with the game of people pleasing, that need to seek approval and do things to make other people love you. And by that, you may then give yourself more love. There's a label.
Yeah, but okay, so how do you evolve into the human being that you love? How do you evolve so that you really love yourself? Talk about your life.
Yeah.
How did you, let's not get theoretical here. Let's get down to earth, Janine McJannet. How did you evolve to a point where you could say, you know what? I love my life. Yeah. I love myself. I love who I am. I love who I am becoming.
Yeah. Well, it's not always that, but it's shortened down. So I love mostly what I'm doing, but there's 5 things that I really try to incorporate every single day. And this is the truth. And this is what has brought me to acknowledging that loving myself and my life and where I'm at is achievable. And we know live, love, and laugh. Those are 3 things that are thrown around everywhere. Live, love, laugh, listen, and learn. And there's those 5 things. And as I incorporate each of those into the day, as much as I can, sprinkling my day, my hours heavily with living in the moment, with loving myself and being kind and showing love to others, by laughing as much as I can, even if it's a fake laugh. I wake up every morning and smile before I even open my eyes. And it just physiologically feels so amazing.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
listen. Now, that's a really important one. Because if we go through our days without listening, we're not showing much love for ourselves or for others. How can I listen more is just shutting up, for one, and being more compassionate and curious what other people are giving me, whether I want it or not. Of course, you've got to set boundaries, but listening to yourself as well. What do you really want? What is the intuition?
Okay. I'm going to push you a little bit. So that's what I do.
Go push.
Can you think of, like, was there an event, was there some period in your life where you just like had this moment and you're like, you know what, I don't like this, and I want to be this person, I want to be like this? I mean, was there anything in your evolution that sort of just like woke you up and said, you know, I got to do better with loving myself?
Yeah, and there's been quite a few of those. Like there's not just one moment, but there's been consequential moments. And if I look back, say in the last 5 years, one of the moments where I sort of took a really hard grip on the handle of my own vehicle, my own road trip, and said, why do I keep on going off course? I looked at that as alcohol. That was a big
Okay.
one for me, and giving it up and surrendering to it. That was almost 3 years ago. And it's just like, that shifted a lot, and it brought back a lot of self-love. It was hard, not only hard because it was such a habit, but it was hard to be, to understand what emotional sobriety was. And of course, we can get rid of, whatever it is we're addicted to, whether it's behavior or substance or whatever. But underneath that, underneath the labels that we give ourselves, there's the raw and there's the emotion. And so it was difficult, but it was very awakening, because it was like, oh my gosh, I'm still a bitch. There's still a part of me that's a real bitch. There's a control freak.
Alcohol or not, huh? I'm a bitch.
And I'm not always right, but I am right. And there's all these things that I didn't want to acknowledge that I was doing that were coming out. Control is a big part, I used to be a phone thrower. I'm a recovered phone thrower now, but anger was in there. So all of these emotions, which we all have, I was just seeing them raw without the numbing of alcohol. And it was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. Really, this is too hard. And so I am doing it. And it's helping me to create a love of myself. Even if I fuck up, even if I say something I don't mean to be, even if I'm not the best parent, perfection doesn't exist. The amount of time between a situation that perhaps doesn't align with my values and the time that I've recovered from it, acknowledged it, accepted it, and taken some sort of action is becoming shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
So that's what helps me to love myself.
I think aging has an incredible benefit side effect, and one of those is, as you age, you just become so much more in tune to what makes you who you are, and it's so much easier to just push all the other things aside. When I was younger, okay, I'm supposed to do that, so I'm going to do that, and now it's like, no, don't want to, doesn't fit with who I am. No.
Yeah. It does. I had a pause. I'm having a pause.
That was a deep. I started us off deep in the conversation.
And see, I was just guilty of not listening, because I realized that my Facebook wasn't going live. And so I distracted myself. And this is a really good acknowledgement here. I'm guilty. I missed the last bit of what you were saying. How bad is that? It's not bad. I just wanted to get the message out. You know what I mean? So please reiterate that, because there was a pause there. And I want to pick it up on it.
What did I say?
Well, I don't know. We
I don't
got
know either. Let's move on.
I'm just going to share this out to my group. So you carry on
Okay.
for a second.
Okay, all right. So my other big question of the day is love and life. So many of us have, I can think of family members whom we love, but we don't necessarily like them.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, should we grapple with that?
Uh-huh. We can play in that field for sure. For sure. That you love but don't necessarily like. Yeah, all of my family.
Yeah, mine too.
Next.
No, that's not entirely true for me. I very much love and like many of my family members, and I
Are they
love them
watching?
all. No, they're not watching. So but it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think part of it is that control piece, knowing that, our own children, we don't have control over their decisions and their habits, so we love them. We want to minimize the danger that we know as old farts that they
Yeah.
are going into, but they don't want to listen to us, just like we didn't want to listen to our parents. And so they do stupid stuff, and things that are hurtful, and it's like, I don't really like you very much. I don't like you at this moment. I love you. I don't like you.
Yeah.
It's really, and for me, actually, it means that I minimize or choose when to be with somebody. And I can
Mhm.
do that because I don't have any, I have one child, and
Yeah.
he is out of the house.
Yeah.
But I can, when I go into those moments with somebody that I love and I like, I'm like, okay, today I'm going to take a patience pill. I'm going to take a love pill. I go in with thinking I've already taken my medicine, and I'm not there to make decisions for that person. They're not asking me for my help. I'm not there to control them.
Mhm.
But it is work. It is real work to hang out with people that you love but don't like.
Yeah. And there comes that listening aspect again. Being able to listen, and as mature women, as potentially wise, because age isn't unnecessarily given with wisdom. You have to be curious enough and
Yeah,
play.
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, to really listen sometimes. And it's hard because we have our own pain. We have our own lacerations from the past, lacerations from the
Oh
past.
man, you've been trying to get that one in.
That was a good one. And they're wounds, right? And those wounds, they show up in how we react with people in our lives. And, if we're blood, if we're not blood, if we have an expectation to love, or vice versa, other people have an expectation for us to love them, and we don't, then it's choice. It's absolute choice.
Continue. I have to capture a cat.
You go capture your cat, and I will continue. So yeah, we have a choice. We have a choice who to hang around with, who to be with. This is a really good question. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind? Do you want to write about what you think other people think of you? It's an exercise that you can do. Just make a list. People say I'm funny. People say I'm witty. People say, all the positive things that people say about you. And then go to another column and write down all the things that you think people might think of you, or even ask people. I've done that before. What is it about me that really grits you? And then start to think, what is the legacy you want to leave behind, and how can you align yourself with those values? We're talking about legacy, leaving a legacy, right? And it's what you do every single day that's going to leave that legacy. So if you're always looking to tomorrow for it to be that perfect time, or that perfect relationship, or that perfect moment, and keeping too busy to enjoy the moment, your legacy is going to be one of a rushed woman or a rushed person, always anxious in that respect. But if you can pull back the reins and just live, love, laugh, listen, learn every single day yourself, then that could be your legacy. Somebody who's really curious, somebody who enjoyed life, somebody who wanted to play and have fun. And of course, we're going to get sprinkled with the good and the bad. But that's I see you've got your cat.
Yeah, doesn't she look all calm and sweet? And yeah, you go sit in the corner for a bit, okay? You've been naughty. So legacy, I heard you say legacy, and I liked what you were saying because, oh man, I made a mess.
Real life coming to you
I
here.
made a mess. Made a mess. Because I hate the word legacy as it is traditionally used. Legacy, like I asked my friend, okay, what's your, and I hate, what's your legacy? Well, I had a son. Okay, your children are not your legacy. I hate to say it, but it's not.
Yeah.
And for me, people would say, what's your legacy? And I say, well, I started the Center for Elders in the Courts. Fact is, I have no control over what happens to it later on. And so we think of legacy as the things, possessions, the things.
Yeah.
And I always go back to the woman I met on the ferry in the Virgin Islands who was radiating with this energy. And I believe that my legacy is my energy that I leave behind. I still carry that woman's energy. I don't know her name, and I don't know if she's around anymore, but that power, that zest for life that she had is what I have and what I keep building. So somebody's going to meet me someday and be like, oh yeah, I remember that woman in the RV. God, she was just bursting with energy. I want that too. That to me is legacy.
Yeah, beautifully said. And it is the energy. It's the essence. It's the essence of who we are. And without the labels, without the masks, without the suits of armors, it's like, who are you? So when you asked earlier, what is the point that shifted me in my own life to really start to love myself? It was really peeling off those proverbial onion layers or the masks or the labels and getting down to really who I am. But how do we know who we are unless we know what we want?
Well,
Yes.
and all of that, I mean, as a sociologist, we are molded by society. So we're told what it is we're supposed to want.
Yeah.
We're supposed to want the family and the house and the dogs and the cars and the vacations and the boats and we're supposed to want these things. And so it gets really hard to peel off the onions because at some point, we're not sure what is us and what society has just put on us. So I think the other piece of actually loving yourself is to say, you know what, maybe society expects me to be this prim, proper woman. Deep down inside, I am this, I want this different life. You've got to be able to say, screw you, society.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to say, I'm going to live my own life, and it's not going to look like the one that you expect me of. I am not going to live the life that you picked for me.
Yeah.
I've got to just break the rules and be who I am. I mean, that's what I do. And occasionally I'm confronted by the fact that I am very atypical in terms of what I am doing and how I live, and that I don't buy a bunch of crap and I don't value that. And I love that about myself. But once in a while, society comes down and I can hear its voice. No, you don't do your nails, you don't put makeup on, you don't dress right, you don't talk. I mean, all of those things, you got to be okay in your own skin. You got to say, screw it. I'm just going to be me.
And that's so perfectly said. About how we're conditioned, how we're conditioned by our past and how we're conditioned by society. It's everywhere. It's every single where, it's shoulditis. What should I be doing? What should I say? What should I wear? Blah, blah, blah. But this really goes down to the choice and understanding your beliefs, understanding your own belief systems, right? That's where it ties in, because sure, there's a shitload of beliefs out there. And we see them everywhere, and we get to choose, unconsciously or not, which ones we accept as true fact. And of course, growing up in a family where there might be, say, a lot of fighting or something, and that means that we're conditioned to come into conflict, perhaps with chaos and aggression, right? That's a choice. That's a belief. So the beliefs that we can pull and understand that they are just beliefs and have the choice to change our beliefs is really, I think, Brenda, what the turning point in my life was, is that we have a choice to choose what our beliefs are. And I mean, I just found one earlier this morning, and I laughed at it, because what was I saying to my daughter? Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose it. But I was saying something to her, and then I realized that's not true. Like, that's the first question. Is that true? Do you need to do that? No, you don't need to do that. That's just something I learned. And so it's letting go, which is what it's all about, is letting go of the bullshit beliefs that we take upon ourselves, and becoming the essence of our soul, becoming who we really are. And it's not just what we want, it's who we want to be. So what is the identity there? Do we want to be kind and loving and smart, whatever it is? And how can you get there?
I feel like there's so much artificialness of of emotions, of love. So like we just went through Mother's Day, and I say went through Mother's Day because I'm so sick to death of Mother's Day posts. I don't post, and it's like, stop it, people. First of all, it's like, it breaks people's hearts who want to be a mother and they can't be a mother. It sort of, just focuses on this biological connection when there are a lot of figures out there who are mother-like. But we do that like with all of the holidays. Valentine's Day is a killer, it's like every, Thanksgiving, we have all these expectations of love in the family. And I feel like that artificialness, I don't want to play along with it, and I don't.
It's getting crazy. I mean,
But
imagine buying into it all.
yeah, I mean, it's like it just sort of raises this standard or expectation that just doesn't exist. Every day should be Mother's Day, every day should be Child's Day, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So
So
yeah, so it's like we don't know the difference between artificial and genuine. We're living in a society that doesn't know the difference between facts and opinions, and somehow we have got to sort through all of the stuff that we're fed and understand there's a motivation behind us being fed this, keep us in our place.
Yeah.
So that's hard. It's hard to get down to who you really are.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it starts with doing the work. It starts with doing some self-development work. It starts with becoming curious and understanding what your values are. We can say, oh, my values are love and friendship and whatever it is, but really look to see what your values are. That's what I do. That's what we do, regularly. It's like, am I doing things in alignment with what I really believe in, or am I trying to fix or rescue or live someone else's? And when you talked about expectations as a mother, this was the first year. So this is another turning point. See, they're just everywhere. It was Mother's Day. My Mother's Day histories have not been great because my expectations have been, oh, it's Mother's Day. I'm going to have this perfect day where the kids serve me breakfast in bed and we go out for a picnic. We've tried it and not everyone buys into it in the family. And even with my mother and my grandmother, it was always some sort of chaos. So this year, first time ever, I said to myself, like a mantra, I have no expectations. I'm not going to have any expectations. And lo and behold, it was a perfect day for me because I did what I wanted. And if things started to get a little bit feisty, I jumped on my bike and I went for a bike ride. My kids watched their device most of the days. I didn't step in, and I did some gardening, and my husband and I had the best time. It was just beautiful. And he was trying to make it lovely for me. So he did some things that he normally wouldn't do, like go for a picnic on a bike ride, which was super.
Yeah. Yeah, and my expectations are, can you text me? So I got a text. Okay, that's pretty simple, but it's, I mean, we have to make our own day, whatever it is, if it's Mother's Day, if it's Christmas, if it's just a Monday versus a Saturday, we have to make our days,
Yeah. We have to make our moments.
our dandelion moments.
Yeah. We have to make those moments, those dandelion.
Well, I got to tell you what. So I was in Death Valley, Death Valley National Park, and oh my God. I mean, all these places that I'm seeing are just amazing.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
you've got, think of Death Valley, you've got canyons and deserts and sand and rock and we walked to Darwin Falls. You get this little waterfall. So you have to walk on dry creek bed and sand and cactus and watch out for snakes and lizards and then you get into this canyon and things start turning green and you follow, you got to walk up these rocks and do all this stuff and then there's this waterfalls coming out of like nowhere. And I told my friend, I said, this is the fountain of youth. And I stuck my hands in there, the fountain of youth. But I've been thinking about that over and over because I feel like I have found the fountain of youth. And I'm still staying on the love piece because I love what I am doing. I love exploring. I love adventure. It fills me up with so much bounty that I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
And it's, so when you're doing things that you love, I mean, if somebody's out there listening, they're like, well, I don't really like myself very much. Just start by doing the things that you really love. It could be, I mean, like I used to paint rocking chairs and I'd get into almost this meditational space. But I feel like I'm getting younger out here on the road. I mean, it is the weirdest thing.
No, well, it makes sense. And that's true. Like find out what you like to do. Find out what you loved to do when you were younger and ask yourself, why did I give that up? Do I want to do it again? Play, explore, like adventure. It's the way to go. Like it is every day where you can create your own legacy for yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, but it's a very practical thing. It's not like, oh, go love yourself and yeah, be kind to yourself. No, just do something. Do something that makes you
DSD.
smile.
Do something different. DSD.
Yeah, do something you love, whether it's different or not. But I think that's the beginning.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about going back to childhood, because when I'm out hiking and doing this stuff, it's like, oh yeah, this is part of who I always was. And I neglected this part of my life for a long time.
Play and have fun. And it doesn't mean always laughing. Having fun
Of course not. No.
is about being curious, being an investigator, exploring and growing, getting rid of the glass ceiling that is keeping you playing small.
Well, you said something earlier and you mentioned emotions. And I feel like you cannot really love yourself until you abandon holding your emotions in. You have to just abandon yourself and just let yourself feel things, because I know for me, I bottled things up for a long time. It was just, I had to be in charge and take care of everybody else and be the responsible one. And it wasn't until I left, got into the RV life that I said, yeah, I'm just going to feel everything. It was so cathartic. It was such a release. And, when you're bottling those emotions up and always trying to be the strong one, you're not going to find out who you are underneath.
No, there's all those labels on front of you. And it really is. It's about just letting go and expressing yourself and figure out ways that you like to express yourself. And Brenda just shared, you just shared your way of expressing yourself and adventure, which is amazing. Mine, I like to write poetry. I like to get out in nature. find out how you can release it, like release those stuffed down things and let go of the weight, whether it's thoughts, you know, because a lot of heavy thoughts stay in here. How can we get rid of them? You know, of course, there's
Yeah.
different modalities that can get into that, like hypnotherapy, for example, so you can understand what's weighing you down.
Okay, perfect segue. We're about ready
Yeah.
to close shop. So what are you doing this week? What can you, how can you help everybody out there?
Yeah. So I put together a special for hypnotherapy, a one-on-one session that I've got going on. And it's really about, it's lightening the load. It really is. What's weighing you down? If there's something that's weighing you down, you want to chat, like how hypnotherapy could even help you lighten that load. And a clue and a real big tip is what language, and I wanted to get that L word in though. What is your language? What are you saying to yourself? What stories are you telling yourself? What is filling your mind? What are your choices that you're making to dwell on? You know, how can you clear the path like you're going up a mountainside and feel that freedom and that play and that adventure? Because if it's heavy in here and we're outside doing something that we love, there's going to be a battle, because half of our mind is saying, don't do it. And half of our mind is saying, do it or do something different. And that's not freedom. So emotional freedom and emotional sobriety, like you said, is acknowledging what our feelings are, feeling them, expressing them through angry, snotty tears if you have to, or through writing or through running, whatever it is. That's the essence that we have to tap into, so that we can enjoy, live, love, laugh, learn, and listen, and create our own legacy.
Cool. Excellent. Well, the links are going to be in the description. I'm rebranding. So I'm in the middle of rebranding, working on a speaking career, and I've got some really fun stuff going on. I would love, if you're out there and you want to share stories of what are these dandelion moments, those special moments in life that just like, oh, this is just so perfect. I feel the love, I feel the contentment, I feel the gratitude. I'm going to bottle this moment up and take it with me forever. I'm going to give you a link to a place where you can share your stories. I'm working on a book on dandelion moments and how we can carry them into our everyday lives, even our work lives. So excited about that. And okay, the next time we're up, it's gonna be a merry time with M.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Whoa, in the Moho, right? And that's where I'm heading now. I'm heading north to Alaska with the family in the Moho, except I'm taking the truck behind them so I can have some soulful moments, because I got to carry.
All right, cool. All right, well, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good one. Ciao, ciao for now.